Hi everyone, myself Sujip Ji. I am pursuing my B at Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering. Today I am going to explain about null hypotenuse type 1 and type 2 errors. Introduction. Null hypotenuse type 1 and type 2 errors. Importance in hypotenuse testing. Overview of the presentation. Null hypotenuse. Definition. A statement of a no effective or non-relationship denoted as HO in the hypotenuse testing assumed to be true until proven otherwise. Alternative hypothesis definition: a statement that conducts that null hypothesis denoted as HA in the hypothesis testing represents the claim or effect we are trying to establish. Null hypothesis versus alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis HO, alternative hypothesis HA. A statement about a population formality, a statement that direct conducts the null hypothesis. We test that the likelihood of this statement bring true in order to decide whether to accept or reject our alternative hypothesis. In this alternative hypothesis, we determine whether or not to accept or reject this statement based on this likelihood of the null hypothesis bring true. Type 1 error. Definition. Rejected the null hypothesis when it is actually true, also known as a false positive. Occurs when we false believe there is an effect or relationship. Type 1 error and type 2 error. Definition clauses probability example. Null hypothesis HO. Type 2 errors. Definition. Failing to reject the null hypothesis when it is actually false, also known as a false negative, occurs when we fail to detect an effect or relationship that actually exists. Conclusion that you drawn accept the hypothesis, reject the hypothesis. Good conclusion. Type 1 error reject a true hypothesis. Hypothesis is a true. That's the statement, the true states of nature. Hypothesis is false. Significance level. Definition. The probability of committing a type 1 error, commonly denoted as alpha, typically set a 0.5 or 0.01 in hypothesis testing. True value under the null hypothesis and most like observation. Significance this word corresponding to a given significant level. Observe p value, observe result. Where unlike observation. Power of a testing. Definition: the probability of a correctly rejected null hypothesis when it is a false complete of type 2 error rate influenced by a simple size, effect size, and significance level. Statistical power: the power of statistical testing is the probability that the testing will be corrected reject a false null hypothesis. It is the probability that the test will be identify a treatment effect if one really exists. Relationship between type 1 and type 2 errors. Inverse relationship, reducing one increasing the others, balancing act, decide on an acceptable trade-off between the two errors. Connected depends that consequence of the each error may differ in the different situation. Reality, true, false, true, measured or perceived, false. Type 2 error, false, negative, false. Type 1 error, false, positive, correct. Example of type 1 and type 2 errors. Rejecting a drug as ineffective when it actually has a positive effect, connecting an incorrect person based on a faculty evidence, false armly triggered by a security system. Example of type 2 errors. Failing to detect a discipline when it is actually present, acquitting a guilty person due to lack of evidence, missed opportunity for early entering in a business, reducing type 1 errors, lowering the significance level, increasing the sample size, conducting multiple independent studies and considering consequence, reducing type 2 errors, increasing the sample size, enhance the statistic power of the test, improve the measure accurate and sensitive. Practical implementation. Type 1 error, risk of false positive findings and wasted resource. Type 2 error, missed opportunity, delayed decision makes and professional harm. Important of careful considering the consequence of each error. Conclusion. Recap of the nil hypothesis type 1 and type 2 errors. Important in hypothesis testing and decide making need for careful considering and balancing of errors. Thank you.